All right, let's talk about one of the most confusing, most frustrating error codes you can run into on a Nissan, the C1130. It seems simple, but trust me, it's designed to send you down a rabbit hole. We're going to break down what this code really means.
So you're just driving, minding your own business, and bam, your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree. You've got the ABS light, the VDC light, the slip light, all staring back at you. You plug in your scanner, and you get this one single cryptic code, C1130, engine signal 1. What on earth does that even mean? It feels like a dead end, and honestly, it's kind of meant to be misleading.
So what is your car trying to tell you here? Well, we've got to start by looking at the official definition. Think of this as the very first clue in our little mystery.
The code itself, C1130, just means engine signal 1. Okay, but here's the absolute key to this whole thing. This message is not coming from your engine's main computer. It's actually being reported by your anti-lock braking system control module, or the ABS module for short. That changes everything.
You see, this ABS module is a pretty big deal. It's kind of like the central brain for a lot of your car's safety and performance systems. We're talking anti-lock brakes for sure, but also traction control, VDC, and even your cruise control. To do all of that amazing work, it needs a constant, perfect stream of information from all over the vehicle.
And that gets us right to the heart of it. The C1130 code isn't telling you that your brakes have failed. No, it's the ABS computer basically throwing its hands up in the air and saying, hey, I'm missing some really important data from the engine. It's flying blind, and it can't do its job of managing traction and stability without that info.
And that brings us to the biggest misunderstanding about this code. The system that's yelling about the problem is almost never the system that actually has the problem. This right here is where so many people get tripped up.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? You see an ABS code, and you immediately think you have an ABS problem. So you start looking at things like wheel speed sensors, or maybe even start pricing out a brand new, very expensive ABS module. But that is almost always a complete waste of your time and money.
So the common assumption is that the ABS control module must be broken, but the reality, in probably 99% of these cases, is that some other part has failed, and because it's failed, it stops sending its data to the ABS module.
Here is the absolute best way to think about it. The ABS module is just the manager. It's sitting in its office and it's reporting, hey, I can't get my work done because the engine department over there didn't turn in their daily report. The problem isn't with the manager. The problem is with the employee who went silent. Our job is to go find that silent employee.
So, how do we start the hunt? How do we find the real problem? Well, we have to follow the evidence, and that means we have to look way beyond just this one C1130 code.
Your scan tool is your best friend here, but you have to know the language it speaks. A C code, like our C1130, points to the chassis, brakes, steering, that sort of thing. But the codes that are going to solve this mystery for us almost always start with a P for powertrain, that's engine and transmission, or a U for network and communication problems.
And this, right here, is the most important piece of advice I can give you. When you see a C1130, do not stop scanning. You need to do a full system scan, check every module in the car, and hunt for any of those P or U codes. That is where the real problem is hiding in plain sight.
Okay, so now we know where to look. Let's talk about what we're actually looking for. These are the usual suspects, the most common culprits that will trigger a C1130 code. And here they are. Take a look at this list. You see a pattern? Almost every single one of these is related to the engine or the car's electrical system. Things like a bad cam or crank sensor, a dirty MAF sensor, damaged wires, or, something as simple as a weak battery. Any of these can cut off that data stream that the ABS module desperately needs.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Let's say your full scan pops up with a P0340 code right alongside that C1130. Boom, you found your culprit. That P code is pointing straight at a bad camshaft sensor. That sensor's job is to report engine speed. If the ABS module doesn't know the engine speed, it can't calculate wheel slip for traction control, so it throws the C1130 code. See how it's all connected?
Now, what if you find a U code, like a U0100? That means lost communication with the engine control module. That's a huge clue that you have a network or an electrical issue. Before you panic, just start with the basics. Check your battery. Make sure the terminals are clean. Check your fuses. Make sure your alternator is charging properly. It's often something simple.
Okay, so let's wrap all of this up into a simple, straightforward action plan. A 5-step roadmap you can use to diagnose and solve this problem for good.
Here's your plan. Step 1. Scan everything, every single module. Step 2. For now, completely ignore the C1130 code and focus on fixing any other P or U codes you find first. Steps 3 and 4 are quick checks. Do a visual inspection of your wiring and make sure your power system, battery, fuses, all that is solid. And finally, step 5, once you fix the real problem, clear all the codes from all the modules and take the car for a test drive.
And here's the best part, the payoff for all your detective work. You almost never have to do a single thing to the ABS system. The moment you fix that underlying engine or electrical problem, the data stream gets restored. The ABS module gets the information it was missing, and that annoying C1130 code just vanishes on its own.
So the next time you see a tricky code like C1130, just remember, that code is only a symptom. The real question to ask isn't just what does this code mean, it's what is my car really trying to tell me about its health? Answering that question is the secret to going from being frustrated by a warning light to truly understanding your vehicle.